Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about panels, and more specifically I wanted to share with you how to go about cutting apart the panels that I designed to go with some of my fabric lines. I have a brand new fabric line in shops right now called Beautiful Day, and it includes two 60-inch wide panels, and they are sold as continuous yardage. And a couple years ago I designed the same sized panel with my Apricot and Ash line of fabric, and I designed them so that they can be used as continuous yardage. You can buy as many yards as you want off of the bolt and use them for a whole cloth quilt, or if you wanted to, you can cut apart the squares in the panel and use them within different quilty projects. So you could make bags or pillows or pot holders or whatever you wanted to with the panel yardage. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This is the Apricot and Ash panel, and as you can see, that's just half of it. It is 60 inches wide, and it just continues on for as many yards as you buy. So you can easily see how you could use this for a quilt on its own if you bought continuous yardage. 2 yards of this fabric would make a quilt that would be 60 by 72 inches. So that's a nice throw-sized quilt. But the fun thing is that you can cut these squares apart to use in different projects. And so I wanted to show you how to go about cutting these squares apart, because sometimes that seems to trip people up just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get this ready to cut. As you can see here, I have already cut out a couple squares over here from this yardage, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I would cut out a couple more. The squares as I designed them work really well with an 8.5-inch square ruler. This is the Quilter Select 8.5-inch square ruler. I have really been enjoying this brand of ruler, but I have lots of different kinds of rulers, and so whatever you have in the 8.5-inch size is going to work great for this yardage. So what I would do, let's just say I want to cut out this piece right here. I would bring my ruler over here, and because we have a nice diagonal line going in both directions, we can center that up kind of in the square of the motif here. And as I'm looking at this, I see that I'm going to have about a 1/2 inch around where my motif ends. So I'm going to make sure that I have that lined up pretty well in both directions, something like this. So I have a 1/2 inch around the whole entire thing. You need at least a 1/4 inch. A 1/2 inch is even better. And then I will take my rotary cutter and I'll just go ahead and cut out around the perimeter. Now I'm going to go ahead and do this on camera, and I have been rotary cutting for many years, and so I'm pretty comfortable going in many different directions with my cutter. It might look a little bit awkward to you, and it might not feel comfortable to cut going in different directions. So if that's you, you can also go ahead right now and you could take a pencil and just mark the perimeter of the block and then just cut it out with a scissors. You might find that to be easier, and that's just fine. But I'll show you what I would do here. I would come through and go just a little hair beyond my ruler and then come over, and then I like to flip this back, make sure that I have a nice clean cut, and then come back over and cut the rest of this. So you can see I'm going in a number of different directions and kind of going towards my arm a little bit. That might feel really awkward for you, and you might find it easier just to mark and then cut with the scissors. But once we have it cut, you can see we're left with this beautiful little square. You can use this, like I said, in so many different quilt projects. Pillow centers are beautiful with this. Bags, like if you have a tote bag pattern that has a nice solid side, you might choose to piece something like this in there. It just opens up so many different possibilities for adding these to different projects, which is why I think they're so much fun. So I hope that helps clear things up a little bit, makes maybe cutting these squares apart a little bit easier to approach. I don't want you guys to be intimidated by panels. Sometimes I think it's easy to be intimidated by something we haven't done, but they don't need to be tricky, and it really does add just a world of possibilities to what you can do in your quilt projects. So I encourage you to try out a panel if you haven't before, and I thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great day.